The question is, well, intentions, distractions, and your favorite food.
Uh, my favorite food is soup, and every culture in the world makes an awesome soup, and it's whatever you have in some water, and uh, it's, I like them. Uh, Intentions be to just catch up on Softgov, and distractions none at the moment.
Cool. Um, Also, intentions for me, just see what's up with stuff though. Hopefully, we have some other folks joining. Distractions. Well, a bit tired from all these meetings. And favorite food. I like Asian food a lot. I don't think I have like a specific dish, but Asian food overall.
Mine's Japanese. If I'm going Asian, Japanese
Oh,
soup is awesome.
awesome. I love sushi
Sushi's
like
amazing.
a lot. All right. Well, first topic very quickly. So I'm not sure if you have seen it, but there's a forum post
Yeah,
of like a tokenomics guide or something. They're requesting
yeah.
five or 10K. I remember this one. Uh-huh. And so this has been up there for a while, uh, more than a month now. They didn't uh, publish the proposal to the gardens. And so last week we sort of chatted about that, precisely that, I think for us, it's kind of clear how to go about the governance and funding request process. But for people that are not usuals on the TC, it may be harder because I don't know. Most of the big DAOs have like a very strict process of like you publish, you stay up there for 2 3 days, then someone sort of reaches out and helps you put that in a snapshot or whatever platform. And we don't have that. We have like a very big, very big guidelines. So that may be confusing, and we chat a bit about how to improve them. Hey, Miguel, how's it going? Miguel,
Hey, fine. How are you
and
guys?
doing fine. And so, as far as updates on that proposal per se, Gideon was chatting with them. I think he already chatted with them and they're sort of in contact. But I'm just not sure if what's the status of that. So not so much we can talk about that there. And then we have the forum poll for proposals. And so I was just saying that we have to clarify the process. And so let me open the handbook. And let me see. This like interesting fun section. I think it's called commission voting for advice process. Uh, Let me see.
Hmm. I thought that people would be kind of reticent to support this tokenomics guide, while TEA is kind of developing the same thing in the fundamentals course. Um, but I'm surprised to see that people are receptive to it uh, in the forum.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to, because I don't think it's in the best interest for us to sort of just double down on the academy, because
I agree.
I think the more players in the education space, the better. And um, it's great to have someone like very specifically into tokenomics, which is a very niche part of token engineering, while the academy does more um, sort of broader education in the field.
Yeah, if this is supposed to be the selling point for TE activity, then it's much better to have them communicating than not, and participating than not.
Yeah, right. Okay. Uh, So I'm not finding it right now, but
What were you looking
it's
for? Sorry.
there's something. Let me see, because I published a photo, I think, last week. But there's something on the handbook that says, um, okay, just found it. It
Was it
says a proposal should stay open for a advice process for up to 2 weeks. After this period, it should be either marked resolved with updates or moved to the proposal section to be sent to conviction voting, snapshot, or tower voting. And so, let me see if I can find this in here. Well, never mind. But yeah, so that implies, let me put that in the agenda. That implies that oh shoot. Okay. That implies that they're like, how do they know when it's marked as resolved, and so that's some stuff that we have to clarify.
it's a good point.
And for that, I proposed we look at how the Gnosis guys deal with it. Let me see if I can find their sort of the proposal process here. But essentially, they have like a three-phase stuff, with templates. And so, if you were to post a proposal on the Gnosis DAO, it has a poll. It has like this sort of uh, a brief. I don't know how to say it, but like like um, just some points, some like a
Abstract.
resume section proposal. Yeah, what was that?
An abstract.
Yeah,
It does.
exactly. And then the proposal body. And so Libby suggested we implement the poll as the way to go, as some like as a way to get clarity on this. So
Yeah, why not?
yeah, so maybe I don't like 2 weeks, honestly. I think days is more attractive. 3 days or something like that. And so like maybe we can have
I
three
don't.
days, and so after the 3-day mark we check the poll, and depending on the result, we sort of approve the proposal to go to conviction voting or
I
whatever.
don't think people have been participating as much in the forums as would be required to have it be that thin a time frame. I think people would barely be finding it within 3 days of being uh, published or having a poll added to it. Or
that's that's a great point, but I also think then, for the same reason, 2 weeks is just too long,
yeah,
uh,
2 weeks is a long time. But that's up to 2 weeks. It doesn't have to be 2 weeks. Um, if it seems like consensus is formed, then I think it can just go ahead and be moved on. If no advice is forthcoming, like after 3 days or something, if there's 3 silent days or something like that.
but well, I think we need a stronger metric,
Okay,
whether it's time or participation, because we may have because
it's a good point.
how many people is the minimum, like how many people do we need to participate in the poll for it to be considered appropriate to move before 2 weeks, for
Yeah,
example.
that makes a question.
Let me add that.
I would think it would be like, I don't know, because the frequency of visitors to the forum is a critical metric to find out how many eyeballs are actually getting on something, and we don't it only starts. We don't have a public metric for that. It only starts to feel busy or starts to feel quiet.
Hmm.
So we don't really. I would think that an appropriate, like, I don't know, quorum would be some portion of the people that have had the possibility of having eyeballs on it. We don't have that measurement of unique visitors or frequency of visitors.
Yeah. Um,
How do you measure when without knowing how many people are coming? How do you know how many people is enough?
Okay, so this is this is
Relative story of
how how Gnosis does goes about it. I think three phases is overkill for us. Uh, Probably like phase one and phase two should be the same. And what they do is um, so phase one is ideation. So I think this would be sort of similar to what we call advice process. Uh, then phase two would be um, I don't know, we can call it a stronger advice process. That's why I think we that's too much for us.
Yeah, I mean,
Really.
ultimately, the poll is just vice process, and the poll is just almost to like save people time from submitting, inevitably rejected proposals. It's supposed to like gauge vote appetite, I think, versus
Yeah.
and offer people who might have an opinion the ability to modify the proposal preemptively, make it better, more palatable for votes. But
Mm. I'm thinking maybe like we get rid of phase one, and for phase two we have 7 days. Because I'm thinking like advice process is great, but I guess that for us that we don't have as much movement as Gnosis DAO, for example. For us, the forum poll, as well as some possible comments and other forms of engagement on the proposal, would act as advice process as well. And if by the end of the 7 days they have to change anything because of any advice we've given to them, they can just redo the whole thing.
yeah, it sounds good to me. It sounds about right.
So
We need
seven
we need to
days.
increase the velocity of proposals. And I think they need to be slimmer too. And we should be having a lot more proposals, and they should be smaller in scope. um,
Do you
to-
think people are usually requesting like way too long form, like long scope stuff?
yeah, I just think that in order to diminish the reticence of voters to lessen the abstains, that needs to be less risk associated with any given dispersal. I was doing a lot of reading last night on the crypto fundamental stuff. The I'm still not. I don't understand why we distribute proposals allocations in die versus taking that die that's from the comp pool and putting it back across the bonding curve for TEC to just to distribute for the proposal, because how it was um, that's how it was professed to be designed in the videos that I was watching last night by Jeff, Emmett, and Griff. Um, so I'm there's a couple of things that have that in the real practice over the past few months or even year. Those things have like diverged from what was said in those things, and I'm still confused as to why at the moment. So,
Um, or just I have something to comment there, but just I'm just curious to see if Miguel has something to say.
yeah, please,
You
Miguel.
know,
No, I'm just listening.
Okay.
cool.
This is
Well,
my first golf call, so I'm just
uh,
listening.
uh, well, um you're unlucky in one part and lucky for the other. Unlucky, I guess, because this is not the usual Softgov call. Well, lucky because I guess we have now the agency or the time to explore other stuff. And just to chat about it. But yeah, to your point, Gene, on on distributing funds with TC instead of XDAI. I would I would agree that we sort of um, commit, or like make working groups commit to um, distribute some of the payments, like a portion, a percentage with TEC, but I would consider XDAI to be more appropriate for a few reasons. First of all, I think at the end of the day, it that's just going to inflate the price of the token, because we're going to be continuously buying back TC. But well, I don't. Let me see. I don't think it will inflate the token, but that's going to make like some weird relationship, because then we will have very big um, buying orders on the ABC that are going to be liquidated anyways, because at least the working group expenses are operating expenses, and contributors expect that money to be liquid, uh, to pay for whatever. And the other reason that's sort of in line with that is that I think it is unfair to some extent to impose the fee, the ABC fee on the contributors, because then, like, okay, cool, I get paid in TC, but every time I want to make it liquid, I have to pay 12% on top of whatever state tax I have when cashing out on crypto.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate. I don't um, I understand in some ways why uh, to receive. I mean, I definitely understand why to receive a stablecoin at this moment in time in a descending market, uh, that having that uh, you know discount protected against, by receiving a stable is beneficial. That uh, in effect, it's if we're distributing TEC to people, that we're distributing a reward or an allocation at a discount to the organization um, versus spending the stable coin. But it's I guess that's the balance is you know who is being protected most directly, the organization or the who's on the receiving end of the allocation. And but at the same time, it could go the other way. If we were in an ascending market, then maybe they would want to receive their allocation in TEC because it was you know trending upward.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, I think that's fair to some extent, but also by the way the ABC works, we are not really that like, we don't suffer that much from any um, market movement. So, for instance, like prices of the whole market have tanked like a lot, and we have barely moved the
You
price
know,
of the TC.
the price stability is like a feature of the token, and it's a neat feature of the of the bonding curve. But um, still,
But yeah,
people do sell. I mean, there is a definite delta that's growing between where
yeah,
it was and where it's at.
yeah. I think that's a very complex topic as well, because maybe I don't know, like, because there's two things happening now. One is the market, but also the vesting is ending. So it's like, are people selling because of the down market, or are people selling just because they want to cash out on their investment?
Yeah, we really
So
need to augment the Dune board to demonstrate the unwind of the vesting process. I don't think that's I don't think there's a query for that right now.
let's see. I don't think either, but
Doesn't show the vesting schedule.
No, I don't have anything like that, but yeah. Okay. Well, coming a bit down on this. So 7 days hold with a, th- a a threshold. We just don't know what the threshold is. We would probably, I think, for to determine a threshold would be nicer to discuss that on a bigger call with more people, just to have more ideas around. Um, what else? Um, I don't know. I think it's just that. We also chatted last week on sort of having uh, a quote unquote role of someone or a group of people that would be able to sort of steward the governance process. So in the case of the tokenomics guide, someone would have been able to um, or would have been responsible to sort of just um, stay on top of this one, because I think we really missed on this one. Not like we missed, like I think we still have the opportunity to contribute, but it doesn't look good that we haven't made anything on more than 1 month for them.
Yeah, maybe a proposal curator or be like function as a quasi
Yeah,
delegator.
yeah. Or like maybe they are missing something on the format of the proposal, and so that people would also be like, hey, could you please complete the proposal or whatever. uh but that's a tricky one, because I don't think there's that much demand to sort of have someone just for that. But I thought, like, if we scope out the role and sort of the like, just knowing what it needs to be done, then all of us can do it. Like, because I spend a fair amount of time, like, I look at the forum once or twice a week, and if I knew that's something that was needed, when I read the proposal, I would probably have said something.
Yeah, I mean it could even be like a standing bounty task to just jump in and facilitate
That's
development of proposals.
that's very cool. Say, Goldberg. How was the name that you said? I like that one.
So just standing bounty, like as a
Oh
task.
no, the name of the role. You said
Oh,
something like governance.
curator. I'm not sure. I don't.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Bounty based. I think that's great. Sort of like you, someone shows a proof of work of uh them still working the governance process and receive to be determined bounty. Cool. Uh, what else? I don't know.
What, what else was on the discussion block last week?
Let's see. Let's give it a quick read. So uh, tokenomicsDAO, 12K. It's not so much. Um, well, we chatted. That was probably nice. Like, well, this is part of the first point of today's agenda on reaching out to them, because we thought they would be a great partner to kickstart the creation service with a tokenomics focused sort of interest group. Uh, but yeah, I Gideon is in that, so I don't really know how's that.
So
Yeah,
that's in the middle there. That's a really interesting question. Do we have a sense of shame to ask people to contribute to the commons? Is that purely uh, financial contribution, or is that you know request to join and participate contribution?
yeah, that was Gideon. So um, actually, the conversation last week got quite interesting. on sort of, because um we thought we may be able to provide um support in uh other forms, not only monetary forms, but and also while people request for funds, we sort of try to integrate them into the community. So that's kind of the question. So if they if they um, if they if they requested 12K, do we have a sense of shame to sort of to maybe say, hey, can you put a page on the guide about token engineering or token engineering commons, or hey, would you be open to do X, Y, and Z for the community in exchange for the 12K, stuff like that. Like try to not only give money but also and not also like get something back, like get a return, but uh, develop a more two-way um, connection between the TC and the proposer. Uh, on that same note, so I don't know, they because say we have now the creation service, and they are working on a guide. Maybe if we provide them the creation service for free or something, maybe they don't have to spend anymore, and so we make use of the service we are developing at the same time, while making the proposal cheaper, and so there's less stress on our common pool. And or maybe we can sort of act as sort of Gitcoin and look for bigger projects that may be willing to contribute to their proposals, etc., etc. Just thinking about those things.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's good. Good. That's good line of questioning and ideation. I I I want to say that it like instead of having a sense of shame to ask people, we should have like a sort of pride in offering the opportunity to contribute. I've been thinking about how we could identify on chain ideal candidates and to be contributors. Good um, people kind of try to even approach ideal participants in some way. People who have demonstrated themselves to be um, you know, strong participants in governance or um, have some sort of skill or
You may find this interesting. So they are not available on the Gnosis chain. I think they are only on Ethereum is in Binance Smart Chain, but they sort of funnel data sources into reputation tokens, and that way you can sort of get more insight into people's I don't know, whatever they do. Uh, So, for example, say of course they integrate first with DeFi stuff, but say we want to we want to build reputation for people that have interacted with Sushi Swap. I don't know, and that sort of um, goes back into the profile, and I think that's kind of what you're saying. Having data sources across a chain that we can sort of gather and say, hey, this would probably be a good fit.
yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you for that. I'll look into this directly.
I'll share you the link here on the chat. But yeah. 1 second. Let me click this.
Generating my reputation right now.
Sorry.
I'm going through generating my reputation as we speak.
Oh, cool. I actually haven't tried it yet myself, but I'll probably will, because seems interesting, and I think that that's maybe not that specific protocol, but I think those kinds of things are going to be really important in the future.
I agree.
Uh, okay. Um, Let me see if we can, if there's anything else we can sort of come up with for Libby.
Yeah.
Um, so um, 7 days for advice process with the poll with the threshold uh, to be determined as well. The role could be like a governance curator or curator or steward. Bounty based, someone that shows up proof of work, which is likely a comment on the forum of them steward the governance process and received to be determined bounding. Uh, um, and well, I'll put this as a note, but I think this one could be a very nice TC bounty as its governance as well. And I don't know, someone with very low participation in, like, that doesn't have a very high stake in the community could sort of be incentivized to steward the governance process while receiving more governance power.
Yeah, that's great.
And pride enough in the opportunity to contribute to the commons. I think this is a great one. Let me see if we can find Ethereum Foundation uh, report. They have a report, a very interesting report. Yeah, this one on on everything, like what they have done in the past year. But there's something particularly interesting for me, um, which is this one, delegated domain allocators. So the Ethereum Foundation gives money to certain organizations that give grants on their behalf. They call them delegated domain allocators. And so I've always been interested in in us at some point trying to become just that. So delegated domain allocators for the token engineering space, and in and not only in the Ethereum Foundation, I believe this is something all major projects do, uh, especially major foundation projects. Uh, and this is not only for money, not only like delegated domain allocators for their funds, but also would be nice to have like this network of people and organizations that we can plug in and out when trying to help anyone in the space succeed, whether that's monetary or other ways of support. Uh,
Yeah, regranting
yeah,
really great. That's
yeah.
that would be awesome if we could you know get some sort of um, you know foundational support like that from anybody and sort of um, start accumulating a basket of backing tokens um, to support the perception of TEC's price and and create a hypothetical extended runway. It would be it would be a great augmentation of the support from the reserve pool and common pool.
Yeah, I agree. I also think we have yet to uh, like we need to um, we need to use what we have more, because I think there's very little people in the space that have all the connections that the TC has with all the major firms like long-tail financial, block science, um, you name it, and and even I don't know if you remember the let me see if I can find it on the forum, but the non-focus proposal.
Yeah.
So um, I think we are kind of we 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 are being very like I'm disappointed we haven't taken more advantage of this proposal because non-focus is literally one of the biggest organizations on the data science world. Like they maintain some of the biggest data science Python packages, and we haven't we haven't said a, a word about it on or our communications, our strategy, whatever. Because like I don't know, like who else in the Web3 space would be able to have someone from the non-focused organization to join AMA, for example, just to say something.
That's a great point. Yeah, it's it's disappointing to say it, but I mean, I can kind of see why we haven't communicated with them, because the people that were advocating for the proposal and helping to develop the proposal are like OG hatchers, but most OG hatchers have diminished their participation, their attendance drastically. I can't ever remember seeing Jessica Zartler in a meeting. Jeff, has reduced his participation for known reasons. And then Dr. Zargum, um, you know, like post something, makes a request for funds, and gets people supporting it with his weight of reputation and influence. But yeah, we don't get to hear from them regularly, or get the benefit of
Yeah,
established engineer participation regularly.
I mean
I know they're busy.
like yeah. I mean that's true, but like that's also why they funded the TC to have people to do that for them, I guess.
I
And
guess, yeah.
so
Pseudo
that's
employee.
that's why I'm disappointed because let's see the dream board. We like we have cut expenses and all of that, but we spend quite a bit of money honestly, and you know I'm really excited because we have some things going on, but at the same time I'm not sure we have spent like we probably could have made more with that money, especially at the beginning. I know the hatch, a lot of excitement. The hatch in the middle of a bull market. There's this perception of just having way too much money to just go and spend it however we see fit. And but yeah, I don't know. I think we have to start thinking in preparing ourselves so the next time we have such a proposal, we are able to capture that better because um it's not even it's not even uh because we want to sort of take pride and flex that we gave money to such an organization, but it's more like it can also be seen as a return of the investment.
Sure.
That's a 25K proposal that we haven't like there's juice in that proposal, and that juice is sitting there. We have to squeeze it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we were to begin uh, exploratory dialogue with Ethereum Foundation or with other big groups like I'm really interested in HBAR. They have a big foundation and a lot of big
how, how
needs.
is it?
HBAR, HBAR. I think it's like
H
what's
bar
the HBAR Foundation.
Hedera.
Yeah, Hedera.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
but just try to kind of start to inquire as to what quality curation of the grants that proposals that we receive looks like. And what would they hope to see? What kind of projects would they hope to see get supported by us? And have we performed ideally to this point, like with the focus grant or proposal being funded, or have we failed to be, in their eyes, stewards of whatever we've been allocated already? Have we spent money poorly or well, basically, from somebody else's opinion?
Yeah.
See if they would have any appetite in letting us spend some of their money appropriately.
Yeah. That being said, I think we are like, 'cause I think I certainly think that some of the members, particularly stewards, probably have some connections in some of these foundations.
Certainly they do.
Uh, but I think we have, before doing any outreach, we have to mature a bit more. Any honestly, because any of these foundations giving just a cent to us, that's a big responsibility. And as much as I'd like to see that happening as soon as possible, I think we there's a high chance that at the current state of the TSC, we might mess that up in
Sure.
some form.
But what kind of metrics could we utilize to start, paying attention to our own responsibility, um, you know, potential. What does getting better uh, look like?
Well, this is just my opinion, of course, but I'd say that for us to be for us to become better, we have to first increase the or improve the perception of the TC, and that means the like, let's see. So I don't know if you are aware, but we have a bit of a situation with the academy, and it's I I sense that people doesn't really have that great of appreciation of the TC now, simply because you look at any of our media channels, mostly Twitter, because that's the biggest one we have, and there's nothing interesting there. There's pretty much nothing about talking union at all. It's
Yeah.
it's we are very focused on ourselves. Like, if our operations were our product, and people couldn't care less about the operations of the TC,
Yep.
I think that's sort of the first thing. Just like getting us to a point where we are in the position to really serve the token union community, because right now we are serving ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to get people to care about what the difference might be between a simple DAO and what it has been instantiated as a virtual commons. It's a virtual commons,
Yeah.
something more, and so it seems like we've tried to broadcast what makes us unique in some ways, but it seems more um, I don't know, self righteousness than it does quality uh, outcomes produced.
Yeah.
We have
And
ourselves.
it's also funny because um, the academy, I'm not sure how much money does the academy has, but I'm sure it's way less than the money we have. Like, I'm like, we have cried a few times about us having uh, little runway, but honestly, $500,000 it's not that bad.
Yeah,
Uh,
we gave the Academy 50K. Um,
yeah,
they're supported by other partners too, so it's not like
yeah.
they're relying on us.
But and what I'm trying to say with that is, they obviously have lesser capacity than us, but have had more impact in the space than us, at least in my perception.
Definitely.
Um, that's cool. We've given close to 100K in grants. CatCat, NumFocus, the academy, and I think there's also the proposal inverter. Giving money out of school, but that's not necessarily as impactful as, I don't know. The academy has more than 10 study groups live right now. They have the first certificate that's very complete in collaboration with the biggest giga brains in the space. We're sitting here eating. I don't know how much are we burning each month. Probably somewhere between 50 and 100K between all the working groups. And what's I'm uh, I'm honestly not sure myself what's the outcome.
Yeah, I think it's actually diminished down to a lot less than that right now. Brex made a great um, dashboard in Dune, and and some s- s- supported by some spreadsheets that they developed for the burn rate. And with the reorganizations of the stewards and whatnot, which is still obviously in flux, we'll see what the spending rate actually kind of settles down to at a new minimum. But yeah, some of the spending has been definitely, you know, inefficient
Yeah,
on on the salaried roles particularly.
yeah. But well, that being said, I don't think anything. Like, I don't think all this bad. I think we are actually headed towards very good stuff. I don't know if you are up to date with the curation service.
No, I missed the meeting earlier this morning.
Uh, well, so if you go up on the server, there's this knowledge sharing channel that's sort of a forum,
Yeah,
and we are in collaboration with a group that's called Common Sense. That's composed of the Active Inference Institute, Tangible AI, and a few other folks. Um, we are building a service that's sort of aimed at curating information. And so the idea is that this forum thing on Discord would work as a self-feeding loop of relevant T content that's at least in the first iteration, it's going to be used to improve our communication channels with more interesting stuff. But it can also be used, and it will be used to form interest groups to sort of develop knowledge. So I don't know, maybe we put up as talk engineering security um, interest group that uses this platform to create data, and by at the end of X time period, we end up with a small guide on T security, for example, and stuff like that. Um, and, and yeah, I think that's not going to be like a mine of gold, but that's definitely going to improve um, our I guess perception, and also the I want to say the quality of the contributors and community. Like I hope and I expect more Ts to come to the server and interact and just because right now we don't have any community. We Most of us are contributors in one way or another. There's not like a strong community that's only community. The people that come here, whether they earn money or not, they are just getting their nose into operations and stuff. Uh, and yeah, I, that's what we are doing now.
Yeah, it's a great um it's a great idea. The creation service it just contributes to. I keep thinking coming back to like what we're doing to develop an actual virtual shelling point beyond the Discord server. And in like in the you know, 4D space of time and location, how do we describe the consensus among actual TE participants as to what is interesting? Curation service is a good start.
Yeah, yeah, and that's something that's that's pretty interesting because Gideon is leading this as part of the sample working group, and he has been in touch with a few people from other communities like um there's one group called DeFi Security, and there's also the TokenomicsDAO, and so that's a nice way to converge communities into the TC. Because if we partner up and make interest groups that use this creation service in collaboration with them, we are that's sort of um, that's sort of user acquisition in in some form.
Yeah, that's more layers of consensus. That's ideal.
Yeah. Well, was a pretty nice chat. We are almost up at the top of the hour, and I think we may as well just cut it off. And uh, I'll probably just take a few minutes to just rest. And I'm guessing you will do similar too,
Yeah, cool,
unless
man.
you have even more stuff to do today.
Yeah, oh yeah, I got a kernel meeting in 1 minute, but yeah, thanks for the discussion. It was nice. Enjoyed it.
Oh shoot. Well, good luck with that, and I hope we chat sometime soon. Was pretty nice.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thanks, Nancy.
Bye. Take care.
Cheers.